What's going on, everybody? Welcome to What's the 411. It is April 8th today, April 8th, the second April in month, the second Monday in April. Oh my gosh, I can't even talk. And I'm excited because today we have a very special guest who is going to talk to us about her phenomenal journey. All right, so go ahead, introduce yourself, let everybody know who you are and all of the phenomenal things that you have going on.
Awesome. All right, everyone. My name is McKie, and I am the CEO of McKie Rich Productions. We're a production company based in Toronto, Canada. We specialize in photography, videography, graphic designing, and just print media. So, any of your production needs, anything that you need for branding and marketing, it's kind of like a one stop shop here.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so you guys have a lot going on.
Yeah.
Okay, I first met McKie when we were at, I think, Malcolm's Choice. I believe it was just like an entrepreneur night.
Yeah.
And I had met so many different great entrepreneurs like yourself who were doing fabulous things. And then progressively, I just seen her online doing her thing. So talk to us about how you got started.
So how I started was actually like non-intentional. I come from an admin background and I was an admin for about 7 years, just clicking away behind a desk. And then that company was, closing down. And I'm like, I need to do something. I need to use my creative outlets, and I decided to go into photography and videography after graduating from broadcasting school. So it was kind of by accident, but not really. But I've always had a niche for the arts and creative media. At first, I wanted to get into film and film directing, but it just wasn't really working with my lifestyle, wasn't really working with the work life balance. So, yeah, photography was kind of like the next best thing that I found really interesting and been doing it ever since.
Nice, nice. So, have you ever thought of being like a broadcaster or anything else in that industry?
I don't know if I have the voice, the broadcasting voice, but a few people have told me that I should get into it, but it's not something that I'm
What?
passionate about. I feel like you have to have that passion to be able to like sustain what you're doing and be able to do it for like a long time. But what I'm doing now, I do see myself doing long term, and it's something that I really find a lot of joy and passion in. So I'll stick to what I'm doing now.
I hear you. So capturing moments, talk to us about like, how you're able to capture these moments, what type of different things you think about when you're trying to capture something. I mean, I had the opportunity to work with you. So I've seen how you just like, on the hop, you're like, okay, why don't you guys do this? Or why don't you do this? So like talk to us about like your creative mind and how that all works.
Yeah. There's a huge thought process before like picking up a camera and just going out and shoot. Anyway, for me, a lot of photographers just go out and wing it, but the stage that I'm at right now, I think there's a lot of pre-production. So, knowing the venue, knowing the space that you're in, what kind of lighting do you need to bring with you? Is the venue dark? Noise level, is there fans, and do you need to bring a mic? So there's a lot of things that you have to think about before you even get on set. I think the number one thing that I think about is just connecting with people, making people feel comfortable in front of the camera. Not everybody likes the camera, so just warming up to people, smiling, chit chatting, finding out more about their business or more about themselves. And just warming them up before just sticking a camera in front of their face, which can be a little intimidating. The second thing I think about after making that connection with people, I always think about my angles and my lighting. What am I shooting and what kind of story am I trying to convey through the lens? Yeah, so those are kind of like the main things that I think about. And then after I answer all those questions, then I go into my gear and what kind of, equipment and lenses and stuff that I need like that. So yeah, there's a few steps ahead of before taking like a really great photo.
Interesting, interesting. Okay. So where do you draw like your inspiration from?
Oh wow, that's a good question. So I'll go back a few years. The people that first got me interested in, film and being in front of the camera, I would say is Director X. I'm a 80s baby, so anybody who's familiar with like, music videos, the Caribbean music videos, a lot of Sean Paul, Missy Elliott, a lot of Toronto and Canadian dancers, him capturing that crucial time in Toronto was just like a light bulb went off in my head. I'm like, I gotta do something like this. So I didn't end up doing exactly that. But those are the people that kind of got me on track of being a creative. Um, I have to give props to my high school teacher, Miss Rock. She specializes, even up until this day, media arts and fine arts. So with her, I was really able to get more confident with my art and really tap into another self, another part of myself that's more creative, more expressive. So shout out to Miss Rock. Yeah, in terms of, people today, I don't think there's any one specific person that I draw motivation from, but I do get motivated from just everyday life, things that I see around me. Just walking outside, hearing people's stories, and being like, oh, that's something cool that I can maybe capture, or something cool that somebody else might want to, know more about. So I draw inspiration from everything.
Cool, cool. So talk to us a bit about the importance of creativity, because creativity is something like you said, you can walk outside and you can see how to capture somebody's story, but to actually do it is another thing. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
talk
yeah.
to us about that ability to tap into your creativity.
It's difficult. It's hard to be creative and always have your creative juices flowing. I feel like most things have already been done to a certain extent. Some things are just kind of being recycled and, tweaked a little bit. But I find just really thinking outside of the box, I guess, and trying to find different ways to convey a story, or trying to find different ways to position your camera, um, and do things that make you stand apart from the crowd. Like there's so many photographers and videographers out there, so it's really hard to find like your own niche and your own style when everybody has a camera, everybody has a cell phone, and you have like 10 other people right beside you all trying to capture the same thing. So it's difficult, but yeah, just staying up to what's going on and thinking outside of the box is like key.
Do you kind of find it more difficult now that everybody does have a camera? Like everybody's walking around snapping shots like all day
Absolutely.
long video. Like,
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love content creators, but oh, you guys drive me sometimes. No, it's like when I first started, there was no such thing as content creators, right? There was no such thing as like capturing a third angle or a behind the scenes with your cell phone. Now it's something that like all of my clients are asking for. In addition to, photos and a cinematographer kind of feel, they all want behind the scenes and stuff to post on social media. So it's a lot more difficult now, but yeah, it's something that you just have to think about when you're in this industry.
sure, for sure. So, I mean, there are a lot of individuals who want to become professional at, photography, maybe filming, editing, all of that great stuff. What is some advice that you might have for them as they embark on the journey?
I would say do your homework, before you jump out there in the field, really get to know your camera, get to know some of the technical aspects behind being a creative or being a photographer. And I think those things, when you go out in the field, it will help you be more confident because you know your camera, you know the technical, the know hows of how to set up your lighting. and then nobody can push you over. Nobody can talk to you about your creativity because you've done your study and you know what you're doing. So yeah, do your due diligence before stepping out there in the field. Also, I would say you don't necessarily always have to have the most expensive or the biggest camera. You can start off really small with something, that you can just stick in your pocket, a little handheld digital camera, and practice with those cameras first. Get a good feel of your creative niche, and then you can jump onto, the bigger Nikons and Canons and the bigger pieces of equipment that you'll need.
Cool. And so talk to us a bit about your work because you're out there in the community doing your thing. You're all over the map, you've even been published, your work's been published. So talk to us about where it's been published and then how, you got to that point.
Yeah, so we've had some of our work published in like bridal magazines. So one that comes to mind is Munalichi. And it's a cultured and ethnic inspired bridal magazine. And that was a really great experience. We did a really big photo shoot with a lot of different designers and models and stylists, jewelers, and those images ended up getting accepted into a magazine. And this magazine is like, top tier. So it felt really good. I can't lie, I had to brush my shoulder off just a little bit, but it's letting me know that what we're doing is right and we're going in the right direction and people are recognizing our work and we're doing something right.
Well, congratulations on that because that's big stuff, You should do more than tap your and brush your shoulders off, It's a good thing. No, honestly. We have to help each other. We have to support each other and big each other up when we see, the work is being done because it's not just that, you were able to get your work published. You put in that work. You're consistent, you're dedicated, and I know that you personally you work very well. Like you know your stuff. So you deserve to have your work published. So good for you, man. Good for you.
Thank you. We've also had the opportunity to just talk about entrepreneurship with another magazine, Business Co. And with that magazine, they talk to a lot of ethnic and diverse communities, mostly women, on just how they started their journey into entrepreneurship. Also, a lot of students read the magazine, so students that are interested in entrepreneurship or starting their own business after graduating. So those things like that, I didn't have that when I first started. I kind of just jumped in there and I'm like, somebody help me, what am I doing, right? So I always like to pay it forward to the next person that is in the same position. So those community-based programs and magazines, those we get a lot of feedback about how helpful those things were, and yeah, that's what we're here for at the end of the day, right?
Yeah, man, that's amazing. And representation is super important. Your creativity matters and it's important that they put it out. So talk to us about representation. Share with us what that means to you.
Yeah. It means so much. Oftentimes, even in 2024, when I walk into a room, I'm the only person of color. I might be the only female. So representation matters because I come in with, a different experience, a different lens, and I'm also capturing that through my camera. So seeing people that look like me, hearing stories that are similar to mine, I think it's super important, and we do have a lot of work still to do within the photography and videographer industry. It's not that we're not there. There's a lot of females, there's a lot of people of color, but for some reason we're not being represented like everybody else. And I think that has a lot to do, I like to take ownership of things that we can be in control of. And I think us as female creatives, we really need to put ourselves out there more. Not be intimidated by, the other people in the room, not be intimidated by, the lack of experience or, the smaller equipment that we have, but really putting ourselves out there and being confident in what we're doing, and letting people know that, hey, we do have a seat at the table. We're here. See us.
Very important. It's definitely not easy, to put yourself out there, to have that confidence. It does take practice almost. You have to, keep doing it, and then eventually you're kind of on a roll.
Yeah.
So talk to us a bit about like how somebody can do that, or what are some tips that, maybe when you walk into a room and you feel kind of like, oh, maybe you're the only female there, or you're the only woman of color there, or like, so talk to us about some tips that, you make sure that you, build up yourself with, like things that you
Yeah.
say maybe or something. I don't know. What do you
Yeah.
do?
I don't think it's so much what you say. I think it's more how you move, right? As soon as you walk in, setting up yourself in a position where you're going to be successful, you're going to get good shots. No one's going to be standing up in front of you. And when people do, not being afraid to use your voice and be like, hey, yo, you're standing in front of my camera, So have your voice, use your voice, don't be afraid, to speak up if something isn't working out for you. Don't be afraid to direct people and tell people, hey, I need you to stand this way or do this or do that. That's your job, that's what you're getting paid for. And when you go into a field, people expect you to be, the expertise in your field. So it is hard having that confidence. It's like you said, it's just practice, right? The first time you do it, it's going to be rough, but by the 10th time, you're going in, you're setting up your tripod, and you're ready to go in like 10, 15 minutes, So, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And even staying committed to this industry, staying committed to what you set out to do with Mickey Rich Productions. Like, talk to us about how you stay committed on a daily, getting up and getting at it every day.
Yeah. It's a lot of discipline, and it's a lot of planning. Just like how you work your 9 to 5 job. You wake up at 7 or 8, and you have your tasks that you're supposed to be doing, and you take one break. You're allowed one break for the day, and you have to operate like that with your own business. So, waking up early, having tasks that you're supposed to be getting done for your own business, taking one break or a few breaks and getting right back into it, locking off the TV, locking off Netflix, putting your phone on snooze. Like, this is work mode. So, staying focused and staying diligent is super, it'll be helpful in the long run. Yeah, so just being disciplined.
Yeah, very, very much can agree with that for sure. Not always easy, but it's necessary.
Yeah.
100%.
And I will say too,
So talk to us about Mickey Rich Productions. Talk to us about the different services that you. Oops, sorry. Go ahead.
no, I was just gonna,
It's a little bit choppy. The video was kind of a little bit choppy there. So,
oh, okay.
but
I was
that's,
just gonna
go ahead.
add, in addition to being disciplined, not feeling down when you're not seeing the results right away. I know for sure when I first started, like year one, I was in the negative, or I wasn't really seeing the growth that I wanted. And I was like, nope, that's it. I'm done. I'm going back to my 9 to 5 job. But like, don't give up. Stay consistent. You're probably not going to see anything in year one. Year two, maybe a bit. And then after that, it's just going to keep growing once you stay consistent. So don't give up. Just stay at it.
Mhm. For sure. I definitely can agree with that. It's consistency is everything in anything that you do. You have to stay consistent. And the reality is, when you start at something, you're not going to see the results immediately.
Yeah.
It does take time.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
So talk to us about your business. Talk to us about Mickey Rich Productions, like the different services that you offer, and what kind of sets your photography business or your services aside from everybody else.
Yeah. So we specialize in photography, videography, and graphic designing. With the photography, we do a lot of events, so corporate events, birthday parties, bridal, wedding engagement. So any type of occasion or event, we're your one-stop shop for that. With video, the same thing. We do interviews, live productions, commercials, um, corporate business. So anything in the video realms, we do that. And we also do graphic designing, which is something that we started actually during the pandemic when a lot of our events were closed and we weren't able to really like go out there and work. So yeah, we started graphic designing. So we do logos, any kind of branding material, and then that also translates into print. So printed business cards, pamphlets, storefront signs, posters, all of that. So what sets us apart from other production companies is that we are a one-stop shop. So you don't have to go to another person for video or another person for graphic designing. All of your branding can be consistent with us because we do it all. And we're female led, we're female run. A lot of the hands that we have in the pot are female and local. So yeah, it sets us apart. I don't think there's anybody else out there right now that's really doing it like how we're doing it.
Hey, all right. All right. So you mentioned the pandemic. How was working through the pandemic for you guys? How did that all work out for you?
You know what? It was a blessing in disguise because, like I said, it allowed us, like I said, always thinking outside of the box, right? Like, you have an issue, let's not stay stuck here. What else can we do? And we jumped on graphic designing because everything was digital at that time. Everybody was on their computer and working for home. So I know a lot of businesses struggled, but it wasn't that bad for us. We were able to, really keep our business going through the pandemic, which was great.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing. So talk to us about how we can get in contact with you. It's wedding season right now,
Yes.
so if we've got something happening, something coming up, how do we get in contact with you to secure some services?
Yes. So our website, www.mickeyrich.com. You can email us at mickeyrich productions with an S on the end at gmail.com. We're on all social media platforms, so Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok, X, formerly known as Twitter, and you just look us up, Mickey Rich Productions, and you'll find us.
Sorry, guys, we're having perfect. Can you just repeat your website or your email?
Yes, so the email again is Mickey Rich Productions with an S at the end at gmail.com. And then we're on all social media platforms as well at Mickey Rich Productions.
Hey, all right. And so what do you have coming up this year? What can we expect to see Mickey Rich Productions? Where are we gonna see you at?
We're always trying to expand. So right now, wedding season, so we're doing a lot of weddings right now. We're also into the heat of carnival season, so you're going to see us on the road capturing a lot of that throughout Toronto. Um, right now, we're just focusing on expanding. We want to do some work maybe overseas, but we're really trying to hit the local Canadian market first, and then we'll see what the future holds for us.
Okay, so we see Mickey Rich Productions. All right, guys, in the stars, we can see it now. Did you watch the eclipse today?
I tried to. I didn't get a very good look at it. It was very
Right?
cloudy, but I did end up watching it on TV, and it was amazing. It was really good.
It was cool, right? Yeah, I was watching it too. I was live streaming it. I was at work, but I was like, I gotta step outside and try to see if I could look. It was so cloudy.
It was so
It was
cloudy.
so cloudy, but
Thank you, Southern Ontario, for the cloud and
right?
pollution.
Ridiculous, ridiculous, but it's all good.
Yes.
Anyways, do you have any shout outs that you wanna, talk to the people, let anybody know, say what's up to anybody?
No one specifically. I just want to shout out anybody, my entrepreneurs that are working hard on the grind. We see you guys. Thank you for supporting us throughout the years. We really owe our success to the community of people that really like big us up and refer us. So shout outs to you guys. You guys are rock stars.
Awesome. And I always like to ask if you have like a motivational quote or something inspirational that you kind of go by on a daily basis or even whenever that you want to leave us with.
Oh wow, you're putting me on the spot. I always go by, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. It's really simple, it's really sweet, but it works for so many things in life, including entrepreneurship. So plan, plan, plan.
And that is a whole word because you need to plan. Planning leads to success. All right,
Yes, you got
guys.
it. Rich
All right. Well,
gang.
thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate you for coming on, sharing your great works and all the things that you're doing. Wish you all the best in the future. And we definitely, we got an opportunity to work together before, so I would definitely like to try to see where I can fit McKie Rich Productions into. I have a lot of thoughts and plans for myself and what I want to, some filming stuff. So I'm definitely gonna, yes, gotta call you and let you know what I'm up to so you could come through. All
Yes,
right.
for sure. Absolutely. Thank you so much for having us. Thank you for everyone that's tuning in and watching. Rich Gang out.
Okay. All right, guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We appreciate you. And make sure that you guys keep it locked right here at what's the 411. I can't even talk right now. I need to go to my bed, okay? And next week we'll have another phenomenal guest with another phenomenal story. All right. Take care.